The 52 Super Series is the premier box rule one design yachting circuit in the world.
The 52 Super Series is right up there. It's some of the best keelboat racing there is out there.
TP52 is probably the Formula One of traditional sailing.
All the way through the fleet, somebody has something that they want to prove to somebody.
There's nothing more fun than just letting these boats rip downwind. You get to the weather mark, you hoist a kite, and you just send it.
The racing is extremely tight. The best tacticians in the world are here. To try to get to the top of the podium is a real challenge.
It's been the premier monohull yacht racing circuit for a decade, attracting some of the biggest names in professional yacht racing and visiting some of the world's most iconic sailing destinations. The 52 Super Series was born out of a passion for competitive high-end yacht racing, and in 2022, the 52 Super Series celebrates 10 years at the very top of the sport.
The beginning of the 52 Super Series, it's a really interesting story because the Med Cup had a great thing going. We had a lot of boats sailing, and then it was kind of sponsor driven. And all of a sudden there was things happening. A few people were going out of the fleet, and then just a couple of us said, this sailing is so great, but maybe if we shifted it a little bit more with the teams, we might be able to create some good racing and move through that kind of a transition time. And it worked. We were able to attract boats to the class. People liked where we were going and what we were doing. Here we are 10 years later, with the fleet very strong, with a competitive level as high as it's ever been, and a chance to look to the next 10 years with great confidence.
The TP52 series has evolved immensely. The boats have gotten faster, more performance, more emphasis on boat speed and on boat handling and all the subtle differences that make winning or losing paramount on the race course.
With its roots in Grand Prix sailing, the 52 Super Series has always attracted some of the biggest names in the sport. Raced in box rule TP52 monohulls, the boats are almost identical, which puts a heavy emphasis on tactics and boat handling, a fact that makes this fleet one of the most competitive in the world, and that's been the case since day one of the series.
You'd say that at that point, the racing was not quite as close as it is now, but nothing changed in terms of everybody being able to win races. So it was interesting to see the progression. The boats and the equipment have gotten much closer. Now everybody can win in any condition. So that part's really good. And the teamwork, the teams themselves have just become incredibly efficient. It's amazing to watch how good everybody has become.
Testament to just how close this series has become lies in the story for the overall title last year. With 9 teams competing, 6 won races, and the overall title itself was decided on the very last day of the season. The overall standings saw the top 4 teams separated by just 5 points, with American team Sled coming out as winners by a single point.
Yeah, we had a great season last year for sure with Sled. We've been in the Super Series for a long time now, and it was really good to just win an event, but to win the season was super, and there's been a lot of effort go into it over the years, so we were super stoked.
It was really important to win the circuit and the World Championships last year. I think the team has been, knocking on the door for a few years, and to break through and have those 2 wins was really quite a breakthrough for the team, and gave it some confidence going on.
Sled joined the series back in 2014 and since then have become a constant threat out on the racecourse. With an afterguard made up of experienced America's Cup veterans, last year was their first ever overall series victory. but it was a season sailed without their talented owner-driver, Takahashi Okura. But for 2022, the experienced Okura is back, and the team are relishing the challenge of the title defence.
The Super Series has got more and more difficult every year, and the boats have got similar in speed. So it's going to be a tough season. We've got Mr. Okura back on the helm, so we've got a lot of catching up to do in a way, but we're really enjoying it.
Sled's victory last year was hard fought. It was the closest finish in series history. And for second place team Quantum Racing, it proved a bitter blow. In the series since the get-go, last year Quantum were challenging for a record-breaking 5th series title. But in the final race of the season, a 7th place finish in this incredibly competitive fleet dashed their hopes. The perennial winners had to settle for the runners-up spot.
It's just tricky. I mean, it's a unique situation with this circuit. 50 plus races, they all count. I feel confident that our consistency is our strength. We're not looking to win races, we're looking to be in the top 3. There's nobody on our team that I would trade with any other sailor in the world. I am so confident and ecstatic of the team that we have. So it does bring me some level of confidence.
With just 5 points separating the top 5 teams on the series last year, taking the overall title is a game that requires consistency. While any of the teams in the fleet are capable of an individual race win, putting a good string of results together is the biggest challenge. And as the new season gets underway, there's an air of confidence emanating throughout this talented fleet.
The hopes and expectations is that we keep improving each regatta. Obviously we have got a bit of a hill to climb compared to some of the other guys who are very good. I think we're stepping in the right direction. We had a good training session in Valencia before this first one, and we just got to put the things we've learned into practice now.
We got lots of good guys, and they've got lots of experience, and we have to put ourselves together so that we get a nice, smooth performance every day, and then we can start pushing for the front group.
The Phoenix team is a team I'm so proud to be part of. These guys have been competing for a long time, and yeah, they are a bit of an underdog team. We all trust each other, we all believe in each other. I truly believe that we've got the best crew work in the fleet, and it's only getting better. It's a young team, and yeah, I quite like being an underdog in the series. It's a little rarer for me these days to be thought of as an underdog, so I'm really relishing that, and I think we can do a really good job.
To get the 10th running of the 52 Super Series underway, the 9-boat fleet heads to a brand new venue, the stunning coastline of northwestern Spain, where Bayona's challenging Rio de Vigo offers tricky testing sailing conditions. Day 1 of racing brought a light but building breeze, setting things up for a tough day for the tacticians. Calling the course was going to be vital to success.
We are underway then on the 52 Super Series for 2022 with race number 1 here in Bayona.
It was a perfect start in race 1 as all 9 boats got off the line, 8 of them heading left, but 1, Phoenix, heading over to the right-hand side of the course. World and Olympic champion Tom Slingsby making the call on the Plattner family's Phoenix, and it was a decision that would reap huge dividends.
So rounding the top mark, well ahead of the fleet, the first upwind leg of the 2022 Super Series goes to Phoenix, a great call by Tom Slingsby, splitting to the right, and just look at that lead.
Holding their own in the following pack, series rookies Vayu were having a great first race, rounding in second ahead of Interlodge, with series champions Sled in fourth. Out in front, Phoenix were on a charge, extending their lead on the first downwind to make a race win all but inevitable. Behind them, Vayu were coming under some serious pressure from the experienced campaigners Interlodge, but at the front, the South African boat's lead held good all the way to the line.
And so race 1 of the 2022 52 Super Series, and it's an emphatic win for Phoenix.
And what a result for the series newcomers, Vayu taking a hard-fought second place in their first race as full-time series contenders. With a building breeze, race 2 got underway in a slightly fresher 14 knots of wind. And this time it was Platoon who took off down the right-hand side. tactic that once again paid off, the German boat winning a tight battle to the top mark and holding that lead for the rest of the race.
We are very happy with the day. We start the season, we start the regatta just now, and it's a very difficult race course, so we are happy to be more or less always in the middle.
That race 2 win put Platoon into 3rd overall, but it's the self-declared underdogs who lead after day 1 of the Super Series. The South African team Phoenix have laid down a seriously impressive early marker.
Today looked like connecting all the sort of puffs together. It's super streaky, the breeze. So Tom did a really good job of that. He's got confidence in us and we have confidence in him, so boat's going well and connecting all the dots at the moment, so seems pretty good.
Racing most of the series events since 2014, Haso Platner's Phoenix team have project manager Tony Norris at the helm for the first event of 2022. And with 2021 World Sailor of the Year Tom Slingsby calling tactics, the South African-based outfit are in safe hands.
Coming back to owner-driver sailing is it's good. It's a real challenge for me. We've got Tony Norris steering a couple of events to start the season off, and Tony's a very good sailor. I have to tell him very little. He listens to me, which is nice, and yeah, he steers the boat extremely well. It'll be a challenge, and hopefully we can keep the consistency up, but I'm confident. I think we've got a great squad, and yeah, we'll see how we finish up at the end.
Phoenix lead the early rankings here in Bayona, but only by default, level on points with Vayu, the series rookies from Thailand. This amateur team are no strangers to high-end yacht racing, and they're the perfect example of just how competitive this circuit can be.
It is achievable to do well in an older boat. I think the key is the boat you buy. We bought a good boat. The old sled was a good boat, and I think you have to be realistic on the area you're going to be good in. If you bought a particularly good heavy weather boat, then that would give you a chance in that weather, or if you bought a particularly good light air boat. I think that we're stronger in the lighter airs compared to the new boats, just slightly less righting moment. But yeah, it's absolutely achievable.
Well, we've always, it's always been a goal to try to get to the TP52 series, and it's just been, the Super Series is just really an ambition that we've had for many, many years.
Anyone who comes into this environment is aware that it's the premier racing circuit, so you really have to do the best you can with the budget you've got and be as accurate as you can and act as professional as you can, and I think that was a big step up for everyone.
It's obviously up against some of the best sailors in the world, and trying to see what we can do to try to keep pace with them, and that's really the appeal.
With 5 52 Super Series events scheduled for 2022, the 10th anniversary year of this Grand Prix yacht racing circuit promises to be one of the highlights of the competitive calendar. Each regatta aims to run 10 races, with each and every one counting towards the end of series rankings. Bayona in the Spanish Northwest was the host of the season opener, and day 2 saw the 9-boat fleet head out into a classic northwesterly, each of the teams keen to pick the right side of this tricky, shifty course.
So here we go, race number 3 of the 2022 52 Super Series is underway, and this 9-boat fleet take off upwind.
Yesterday's standouts Vayu claimed the pin end with a good clean start, but by the first upwind mark it was Interlodge with the narrowest of leads over reigning series champions Sled, just ahead of Allegre in 3rd. Pushing hard on the downwind, Interlodge could not break away from the chasing duo of Sled and Allegre, but all was about to change on this shifty Bayona racecourse. On the next upwind, a big shift saw regatta leaders Phoenix gain, and by the next upwind mark, it was Quantum racing up front ahead of Platoon. So back to winning ways for Doug DeVos and his team Quantum, with Platoon in 2nd and Phoenix in 3rd. The northwesterly breeze continued to fill for the second race of the day in Bayona. Quantum Racing blasting through the race 4 start line, but looking good again in clean breeze. The number 11 bow of event leaders Phoenix were having another stellar day. By the upwind mark, Quantum led by the narrowest of margins. Allegre were right behind them, but in third, Tom Slingsby and the Phoenix team would not back down. On the downwind, Phoenix were unstoppable, sailing away from the chasing fleet, edging into the lead at the first downwind gate.
Quantum, then Phoenix dropping their kites together, but it's Phoenix rounding first as they head to that right side for the final time in race 4.
In the race for third place, Platoon and Allegre were neck and neck, splitting at the bottom of the course. But it was another impressive display from Phoenix, rounding the last upwind well ahead of the fleet. Quantum racing in second, behind them Allegre had won that battle for third. Way out in front with over 100 metres on second place, Phoenix consolidate their spot at the top of the leaderboard. Quantum Racing took second, ending the day second overall, courtesy of that win in the first race.
It's challenging, it's hard. Everybody, you earn your good races and you earn your bad races. You have to give Doug and Warwick and Freddie, high remarks because they're working the boat as hard as they possibly can. But there's some subtle things in there that we can do better, and we'll keep working on those things and keep tightening it up. But yeah, it's nice to have a good day.
From America's Cup winners to Olympic gold medalists, each of the 9 yachts racing in the 52 Super Series fleet carries some of the most experienced professional sailors on the planet. But surrounded by all that experience, the helmsmen steering most of the 52s are owner-drivers, well versed in racing, but in no way as professional as their crews.
Well, the owner-drivers, just like anybody else, are, they have their strengths and weaknesses. So first thing you have to do is learn what they can do well and make sure you give them the opportunity to do that. And then the things that they don't do well, you just got to work on. And if they're not committed to improving and they just want to, get out there at the last minute and do their thing, then sometimes you just have to make sure you don't put yourself in a situation that they can't handle.
On board reigning series champions Sled, it's been a tough return to competition for their owner-driver Takashi Okura. Absent from their successful campaign last season, he's once again on the wheel for 2022, steering Sled with the backup of a well-established, race-hardened afterguard.
Yeah, Mr. Okura, he's a great, he's a very talented helmsman. He'll listen to all the input on board, but in saying that, he doesn't need huge amount of input either, because I think he's been doing it for a long time, even though he doesn't practice a lot. I think he's quite talented at it, and he understands what we're trying to achieve.
He really enjoys the team atmosphere. He brings, he's very calm on board. He never really gets flustered. He drives the boat incredibly well, considering the fact that he hasn't driven it for 2.5 years. But he's just a calming influence on the team. He really enjoys the team environment, and we're very fortunate to race for him.
The owner-driver concept is one of the key reasons behind the success of the 52 World Series, providing talented yachtsmen the opportunity to assemble a team of experienced pros around them. One of the series' most experienced owners is British businessman Tony Langley, whose well-known Gladiator team have been racing on the series since 2012.
Tony Langley is a great guy. He's very well driven. He wants to win. He wants to do his best, and I think he loves being here. I think he just loves being at the Super Series, going out there, duking it out with the other guys. He just loves the action, he loves the racing. He's a great guy to be around. He's so motivated and pushing all the team all the time for us to get better and to help him to get better.
For Langley and his accomplished Gladiator team, success on the series has been elusive, but they didn't have to wait long to pick up their first race win since early 2018.
There you see Tony Langley on the wheel, bearing away, turning Gladiator downwind with a sizable lead. Just one leg to go, and it's the win they've been waiting for.
Behind the British boat, Interlodge was safe in second, with Quantum Racing keeping that consistency in third. But there was no stopping Gladiator, first place here in race 5.
I'm loving it here. Yeah, I'm loving these these sort of geographic features and shifts and puffs, and yeah, it's a nice place to sail. So the boat was actually going quite well in the second race today. So we were quite happy with the way the boat was going.
It's been a good day for the team at Gladiator, but an even better day for the crew of Quantum, whose consistency is beginning to pay off. A third and a first, seeing them take the overall lead at the halfway stage here in Bayona.
It's really tricky conditions the way the breeze comes in and funnels through the islands. Where there's pressure, where there isn't, where it's shifting back and forth, and where it's where there's some holes or some light spots. So you just got to kind of navigate your way through.
Doug's hitting his strides, and the guys are sailing the boat well, and it's nice to see the benefits of our week in Valencia and some of that. But the whole fleet, the level in the fleet is incredibly high. So I think it's awesome.
Of all the teams currently competing on the 52 Super Series, Quantum Racing have tasted the most success. 4-time series champions in 10 years, they've never finished off the overall podium and are expertly helmed by one of the original architects of the Super Series, American Doug DeVos.
Doug, as an owner-driver, as a friend, as a mentor, I think as we know, he has been such a strong advocate for the sport of sailing, such a strong advocate for the Super Series. He is truly one of the kindest people I know, and at the same time, he's ultra competitive. He wants to win. He's an integral part of that process. And so, at the end of the day, he knows that the success of the team rests on his shoulders. And I'm quite certain that he's happy to carry that.
Absolutely. When you have a chance to drive and participate in this class, you're with the world's best sailors. And to think that this is a unique sport where you have a chance to do that. I couldn't walk on a basketball court and do that, or on a football pitch or a rugby pitch or anything. You could never make that claim in any way, shape, or form. But sailing, you can be out there and be next to to people that caliber, that skill, level with Olympic medals and world championships, and you look down the fleet and you see multiple world championships and Olympic medalists throughout the fleet, and you're expected to do something well. I'm expected to drive the boat well, which I'm trying to figure out how to do on a regular basis. I've been doing it a long time, but there's still so much to learn. That's what keeps you coming back. Is I can get better. I got to improve. I've got to be part of the team, and you just love being part of the class.
The beauty of our sport is that it reminds you how hard winning actually is. Each day is unique to itself. Each race is unique, and so even though we do it day in and day out, it's not the same on the day, and so that's probably the biggest challenge in the game.
In a fleet where any boat can win, consistency is key. Staying in the top 3 while avoiding any low-end finishes will ultimately see a team onto the podium. Do that all season long, and they're in with a shout for the overall title. This year, Doug DeVos and his team are going for a record-breaking 5th series win, and they did their hopes no harm at all in Bayona in race 7.
So Quantum Racing have edged into the lead down that right side of the course. It's Platoon down into 2nd and Phoenix are in 3rd.
In the fight for the podium places, Platoon and Phoenix were trading blows on the run downwind. The South African boat Phoenix just edging ahead as the pair sailed the final run to the line. Neither boat could catch Quantum Racing though, and as the Americans crossed the line, they sailed 7 points clear on the leaderboard. One more race saw a 2nd place finish for DeVos and his team, and it was job done here in Bayona. Quantum Racing were back to their winning ways after a nervous week of racing.
Every day's a nervous day for me. Are you kidding? Yeah, I'm always anxious, but that's you got to be. That's why you do it. You got to have your nerves on edge. You got to be focused, and that's why it's such a thrill to have a chance to sail and then to be able to actually win.
It's awesome. It's the first 52 regatta that I've won since 2018. So we had a couple good cracks at it last year, and we gave ourselves chances going into the last day. But, as you know, winning's a process. And as Doug rightfully points out, all the teams are really, really good. And so we know we have to keep pushing.
With 8 of 10 possible races sailed in Bayona, it's a good start to the series for Harm Müller-Sprier's German team, Platoon.
Quantum was super strong. I feel we sailed really well also, and to be in the top 3 on this circuit is amazing. And I start the season like that is very good. If we are able to be in the top 3 in all of the events, for sure we will have a chance to win the series. No, that is all of the year. That is what we want. No.
Rounding off the podium places here in Spain were the self-proclaimed underdogs on board Phoenix. They were in contention all week, but dropped to 3rd after 2 finishes slightly off the pace.
It was a great regatta. Yeah, unfortunately we sort of made a few too many mistakes on one of the days and lost a lot of points and dropped back to 3rd place, but we're happy with the way we sailed. We sailed really well in 4 out of the 5 days, and we showed that we're in the hunt.
It just feels wonderful, you know, to be back on the podium again like that and up top, and to start out the season the right way. It was a lot of preparation, a lot of great work by the team, as you can imagine. All the teams are working hard, but we're just thrilled to be able to end up on top.